All right. So you can find a nice comfortable position in your chair. We will start by tapping into your breath. Allowing your eyes to close, your hands to rest. Feeling that air filling up your belly, your ribs, your chest, and then allowing the air back out through your nose. Just taking a couple minutes now to connect into your body, trying to turn off the noise from the outside, keeping your focus and your attention here inside these walls and even more inside your body, paying attention and observing the way your body feels, the way your body responds to the movements. Without any judgment on how your body is moving, just being the observer. And anytime you start to feel your attention wandering away from this moment, from your body, trying to catch yourself and bring your attention and your focus back first to that breath. So feeling that inhale and feeling that exhale. Knowing that as you notice those times when your mind starts to wander and starts to go down a thought and go down a different path, that noticing that is the most important thing. Doesn't matter if it's after 5 seconds or 5 minutes. As long as you're able to notice that and bring yourself back, that's the important thing. Maybe just a few more rounds of breath so that you can turn inward. You can start to allow your head to fall to one side. And maybe circle around through the front, chin to chest. And then bringing the opposite ear over to your shoulder. And then rocking back to the other side. Taking this at your pace. Stopping anywhere along the way that needs a little extra attention. Next time you go through center, we'll just allow that chin to hang down towards your chest. Allowing the head to hang heavy. No extra pulling or pushing, just feeling the weight of your head pulling down through the neck muscles. And we'll inhale to bring our head up towards the ceiling, sitting up nice and tall, feeling that lift all the way from the hips, through the spine, all the way up to your head. Taking a breath there to feel that length, feel that lift. And then we'll bring our hands behind our head and we'll allow ourselves to arch back over the back of the chair. Your hands are there to cradle, to hold the head, so that you can feel the extension in your neck. And then also using the chair to feel some extension through your upper back. As far as you feel comfortable, allowing this to be gentle, as these are the first movements, the first little bit that we're getting the spine moving. We'll inhale to rise up, finding that nice upright position. We'll take some shoulder rolls. Going backwards to start, maybe one, then the other, or maybe both together. Take this a little wider, if that feels good, out through the elbows and the wrists. Maybe all the way to kind of big circles through the arms. Or staying more at just the shoulder rolls if that's what's feeling good for today. Finish those circles backwards, and when you're ready, we'll just turn this to the front, going around, forward rolls. Maybe starting back with just the shoulders and then working your way up to circles. Or just seeing what your body's asking for today, giving it a little bit of that. Outward, so your palms will face up towards me. Rounding through your back, maybe tucking the chin down. Holding here for a breath. We'll release the hands, and then maybe those hands will float right down to the ground. If that ground is feeling a little far away, just bring those elbows up to your knees. Allowing a little bit more flexion before we really reach for the ground. You can hold this forward bend, or maybe adding a little sway from side to side, allowing your head to hang heavy. As you feel a little movement through the trunk, maybe into the hips, maybe into the head. On your next inhale, we'll slowly roll up, keeping your head hanging heavy, feeling each section of your spine coming upright until you finally lift your head. A nice big inhale and an exhale. On the next inhale, we'll reach those arms up, interlace our fingers, point your finger towards the ceiling. And we'll tick-tock back and forth. We'll just take a few moments to observe, to check, to feel. If the arms all the way up is feeling a little bit too much through your shoulders, you can bring those hands in front. And you'll still feel those side bodies. The next time we're at the right side, if you'd like to hold here, we'll do a breath or keep that movement going if that's feeling better. For that exhale, just reaching a little further. the left side, holding here for a breath. On that exhale, just seeing if there's a little deeper. And then inhale, keeping those fingers pointed right up towards the ceiling. We're going to take one more arch back. But now just allow that head to hang heavy. Use the chair at your upper back and allow yourself just to arch back just a little bit. Maybe a little shorter, shallower breaths here. And then we're going to trace our fingers along the ceiling and along the front wall, coming back into our forward fold one more time. Just seeing if that ground feels any closer or further away. And then inhaling to rise up. And we'll go right into our seated twist to the right. So using that back hand to reach for the chair as that front hand goes up to the outside of your right leg. And then gazing out kind of over your shoulder of your right hand. Feeling that twist from the hips, the spine, maybe the neck. Keeping it gentle. Feeling just enough twist through those spine muscles. Next inhale, we'll come through center, finding the same position now on the left side, reaching that back hand to the back of the chair, and the front hand will go to the outside of the left knee. Using the hands to give you a little twist. Gazing out to your left, or maybe a little bit over that shoulder. Giving a few breaths here to feel that twist, to allow your spine to release. Turn to center. We're going to plant our right hand on the side of the chair as we reach that left hand up. Maybe it's up to the ceiling, or maybe you find a little deeper side bend stretch, keeping that left hip pushed down into the chair. And then we'll reach up. And then bring that hand down to the opposite side. And the right arm will reach up, maybe all the way over. Feeling that stretch now through the right side body. Keeping that right hip pushed into the chair. And then we'll inhale, bringing that hand back down. We'll inhale again to reach those hands up. On our exhale, we're going to cactus those hands down. So you'll feel the elbows kind of reaching back towards the back of that chair. Your shoulder blades will pull down and back. Your fingers will be wide, and you'll feel the strength through your fingers. Allow your head to stack on top of the shoulders. And you'll feel that little bit of core engagement. Just taking a couple of breaths here in this strong pose. Keeping your core engagement in your head, we're going to allow the hands down to the side, palms face up towards me, and a nice big breath here, finding our seated mountain pose. Coming back to this position anytime you feel like you've had enough of what we're doing. If you need a little break, if you want to just take a moment to reconnect, this is a great pose to come back to at any time. You can release the hands. We're going to go through a few of our core breaths. So if you know where you're going, you know the breaths, you've been doing them, go right ahead. Take a few of those breaths. Otherwise, we're going to inhale, and you'll feel your pelvic floor release and relax, as well as your stomach muscles, and allowing the air to fill up into that belly and into your back body. And then on the exhale, you'll feel your pelvic floor lift. Your belly button will go back, and your ribs will come down and together. Then that nice strong core engagement. And then inhale to release, and exhale to engage. These stomach muscles tend to get turned off in our everyday life. So just tapping into them, maybe taking these breaths, just a couple throughout the day, will help to turn those muscles on so they're there when you need them. If you lift something heavy, if you bend down, even if you're reaching up to get something off of a shelf or a cupboard, engaging those muscles will help protect your spine, help protect kind of the whole body, keeping everything aligned, and kind of supporting everything from both sides. And just take about 2 more rounds of this breath. When you finish that second one, I'm going to have you hold that engagement in. Keep that pelvic floor lifted. Keep those stomach muscles engaged, your transverse abdominis, your belly button's pulled back, your ribs are pulled down. And then just take that little inhale. And then exhale to get a little deeper, a little stronger contraction. And then we'll march those legs up, keeping that engaged. If that's feeling a little much, you can always slide the heel in and out. We'll do a couple of marches. If you'd like to add in kind of that boat pose, you'll just come to the edge of your chair, and as you lift one, then you can lift the other. Kind of allow your spine to lean back just a little bit, and then lifting up both legs. Making sure that everything is very much engaged through your core, that pelvic floor is lifted. If that's feeling too much, we'll just stick with the marching. Just noticing that engagement. If you start to feel like you're losing any of the engagement, stop. Inhale and then reset all of those muscles. These options all around. And finish that round up, taking a little bit more if you need. We'll come to the edge of our seat here. And your hands, giving yourself enough room to reach the hands back, kind of behind you. And then you're kind of sinking in and then just pushing through your hands. So you'll feel that straightening, that engagement all the way through your triceps, your wrists. You almost turn, kind of this crease of your elbow will turn up towards me, and you'll feel that little bit more kind of length lifting through the arms. Taking a few of those, relax when you need, pressing back up when you're ready, staying right there if you'd like, or if you'd like a little bit more, we'll kind of come to the edge, and then just see if you can hold your buttock out, using your feet to support you too. So you'll come to the edge, and just see if you can push up, and then kind of pull yourself back onto the chair after. Picking whichever one feels better. And maybe just trying it and seeing what you think. I'm going to give this one more try if you'd like. We're going to just kind of allow the rear to come off the chair. You're supported with your feet. You're supported with the arms. Take a breath, 2, maybe 3. Right back on when you're ready. go right up today since I made you do all the other challenges. We'll make you do a chair pose too. We'll turn our chairs so that we can do kind of incorporated in some of the lunges, the high crescent lunges, the downward dog, so wherever you have space for that. Just to check that we have socks, sneakers, grippy socks. Nothing that's going to let you slide too much because we're going to be kind of out quite a bit. So I'll talk you through it, but similar to what we did on Tuesday, where we found the lunge and then the option to lift your hands up. So yes, we want to put both feet in front of the chair. Hands will go to the chair. We're going to step right back to our downward dog. So give yourself a little bit of space, walking those feet back, maybe getting both heels onto the ground, and then pushing back with your hands. All that weight kind of into the feet. A little bend in the knees. Feet are about the chair's distance apart, maybe a little closer. A little bend in that knee, just to keep from those hamstrings feeling too much. And then you can add a little pedaling through your feet, lifting one heel and then the other heel. And then we're going to roll forward into the plank position. So here you might need to just wiggle those feet back a little bit so that you can get kind of a full diagonal position. If you want to add a little push-up, go right ahead. Then we're going to take our left foot, we're going to step it into the middle and just underneath the chair. So your foot will be in the middle of the chair and just under. If it's a little bit wider, it'll give you a little bit more balance. So you can play around if you want to walk it out just a little bit. With our hands on the chair, we'll just take just a couple lunge here. So that back knee will bend down towards the earth. Shifting that weight a little bit into that front leg, that left leg. And now the right knee just bends down and up. And then we'll straighten that back leg out. We'll go kind of onto the toes of your back foot if that's comfortable. And then you lift your chest a little bit, working into a little bit of a high crescent lunge. Maybe the left hand reaches up, and you keep that right hand on the chair. Or both hands can stay on the chair. And then I know if you took the option of both hands last time, if you're feeling that today, you can give that a try. Nice. Coming out of it at any time. We'll just give it one more breath so that you can find your expression of this shape. And then the hands will come to the chair. Let's bring that left leg back. Downward facing dog. Just allowing yourself to pedal through that. And then we're going to rock forward to our plank now. Shifting the feet maybe back just a little bit. So you can find that diagonal line from your head to your heels. Maybe we add that push-up in. And we'll bring our right leg now underneath the chair. Middle, or walk it slightly towards the right side of the chair for a little bit less of a balance challenge. And then we'll just take the left leg and bend into a little lunge. That left knee bending towards the ground. Back up. And then we'll keep that back leg straight as we find this high crescent lunge shape now. Maybe we start by taking the left hand up this time. Or your right one. No, right hand, sorry. Or keeping both hands on the chair, that's fine second hand up. As the hand comes up, your chest will almost kind of rise up. Finding your shape here, taking your time. Coming out of it whenever you feel you need to. I'm going to give you one more breath for those that are still trying to find where they want to be. And then we'll put the hands to the chair. Let's step that right leg back. We'll find our downward dog one more time, pedaling through the legs. And then we're going to come forward into one more plank for today. Feeling that core engaged, the belly pull back, the ribs pull down, the pelvic floor is engaged. Maybe we do one more push-up. And then you can slowly walk your feet towards the chair. A nice big inhale to rise up. All right. We'll turn the chairs and we'll come behind the chair for some balance. So we're going to start by planting those feet into the ground. If you have socks and shoes on, that's fine too. And then just feeling the borders of our feet. So kind of allowing yourself to kind of shift from the toes to the right sides, to the heels.
I love this one.
Isn't it fun?
I really do.
Just going all the way around. And this is great for those muscles within the feet and the ankles, sending kind of the signals to the brain, turning all those on. Now if you've been going one direction, we'll switch. We'll go the other direction this time. So the toes to maybe the left side, to the heels, to the right side. And again, just kind of observing where your borders, where your boundaries are as you rock around in that circle. How far can you go each way? And then we'll come to stand. And then we're going to go up onto our toes. We're going to take several rounds of this. So finding a good spot for your feet. Maybe they're closer, they're wider. Maybe the hands are on the chair. Maybe you can cover them over. Going up as slow as you can. And just taking notice if those ankles want to start to roll out to the sides. You want to try to keep them pulled inward and then lowered down. So that all those muscles are working together. And down. The next time the heels are down, you can try just a little squat. And we're going to just move those feet apart a little bit so they're kind of underneath your hip bones more so. And we're going to squat back. Just take a few rounds of this. Good. And again, the hands can be at the chair if that feels a little bit more steady, a little more balance. And then when you come up, we're going to add that heel raise. The wiggle wobbles are good. And then we'll squat down. Now take any part of this that you want, leave behind the parts you don't. If the squat is not working for you, leave it. If the heel raise is not working for you, leave it and just do the squat part. If this is feeling good, I got one more layer you can add on. Of course. Worse, yes. You can try up on the toes, staying on the toes, to go down for that squat. And maybe it's just a little mini tiny squat. Or maybe you leave that totally and you opt not to have that. Good. Take a couple more rounds of that. Shake it out if you need, if you've had enough. All right. So we'll shake those legs out. We're going to do we're going to kind of add some pieces that we've kind of done. We're going to do our tree, and then we're going to go back into our warrior three. So we're just going to kind of go back and forth here. So start with your tree, whatever expression of that tree you like. So maybe those toes are staying on the ground, and then those hands are coming to the chair, and then you're bringing that leg back. And then it's coming back forward to tree. Or maybe we're starting with our tree a little higher. Greater challenge on that balance. And then we're sending the leg back, maybe minimal use of the chair. And then back forward to tree. So just taking this at your own pace. The slower you go, the harder the challenge will be. Maybe the hands will stay here. If you fall out of it, shake it off a little, come back in when you're ready. Maybe just a little bit longer on this side, just to check it out, observe, see how it feels. And you can finish that when that you're on, and then we'll shake that standing leg out, and we'll switch to the other side. Taking your time to kind of gradually go through what this side would like. Finding the tree, whichever position of tree you'd like, and then sending that leg back to this warrior three-like pose. And then coming back in, using the chair as much as you'd like, or maybe trying a few without. Just maybe a few more rounds here just to give that a try, see where you're at. Allow yourself to maybe test the limits, test the boundaries on this side. Or shake it out, take a break if that's where you're at. That's fine too. Maybe if you want to just finish a little tree pose to end on this side. You can release that leg, shake that out a little bit, and we'll come back down to the chair. Drink if you need it. We've warmed everything up, and we'll do some stretching now to finish out before we do our meditation. So let's start with our right leg out in front, finding that hamstring stretch on this side. The heel will rest on the ground, the toes will point up towards the ceiling. And then you can allow yourself to kind of fold into this stretch. And bringing your focus, your attention back to your body. Sinking in to hold for several breaths here. So making sure you're in a spot where it feels like you can hold this for a little bit. We don't want to feel really uncomfortable or feeling like the stretch is too intense. Giving ourselves a little extra time for a more sustained stretch, so it can be a little more gentle. In this position, you keep that heel down. If you'd like to try, you can try pointing your toes out to the left and then turning them over to the right. Getting a little bit of rotation through our hip. Seeing if there's anything in there that feels a little bit tighter that maybe you want to hold there for just a moment. Either side's feeling a little tighter. If not, you can go right back to that hamstring stretch, or you can give a little hold to whichever direction needs it. Just take about 2 more breaths here. And then we can bring that leg out to the side, finding that half straddle stretch. Now on the right side. A little bit of a diagonal. Then maybe just that right arm is reaching down, or maybe both, your chest and both hands will reach down. Your preference, whichever feels better. Then that into that hamstring, but maybe also into that inner thigh as well now. And again, keeping it gentle, giving it a few breaths here. And then coming up, we'll bring that left leg in, right leg in. And then we'll find this now on our right, left side. You know what I mean. So we'll start with just that hand.
Your sign.
Signage. So finding that hamstring stretch on the left leg. And just starting by allowing yourself to sink into that stretch, feeling the back of your thigh, that hamstring. Anywhere from kind of behind your knee, maybe all the way up towards the buttock, anywhere through there. And then sink in, settle in, find that breath. Maybe on this side you'd like to try tilting those toes from one side to the other, keeping those toes pointed up towards the ceiling, and then just rocking kind of through the hip, in and outward. Maybe it feels different on this side, better or worse, or maybe it's the same. Kind of opposite. If the one's feeling a little tighter, you can hold there. Otherwise, you can go back into the regular hamstring stretch. We'll just give that a couple more breaths. And then we'll come up, we'll bring that leg out to the side now for that straddle stretch. Again, allowing the left arm to reach down, or maybe the chest turns towards the leg and both hands reach down. Play around with it, see what feels good. And then once you find a good spot where you're getting a little bit of that hamstring, a little of that inner thigh, settle into it. Keeping that leg out wide, we're bending up onto the foot. We'll bring the other leg out wide. We'll find that hip opening stretch. Maybe the hands on the knees to give a little pressure outward. Maybe just take a moment here. And then if you'd like, you can add in some movements from side to side, feeling a little bit of a push as you go away from one side, giving that a little pressure out to deepen that hip opening stretch. But also feeling this through the back, through the shoulders, the upper back. If you feel a spot that needs a little extra attention and you want to just pause there for a few, you can. If the movement in the side to side is feeling better, you can stick with that. Pausing in the center, bringing both hands to the knees, getting a little pressure, or maybe the hands come down to the ground for the straddle, forward fold. Feeling that deepening hip stretch as you bend forward. Next inhale, we'll rise up. Walking those feet back in together. Let's scooch to the right side of the chair. We're going to find our quad stretch on the right leg. So bringing that right leg back behind. You can be up on the toes to kind of give you a little pull backwards, or maybe you flip the feet and you're on the top of your toes. And then allow yourself to lean back just a little bit. Give this just a couple of breaths here. Feeling this kind of anywhere from the hip bone down to the front of the knee and that hip flexor. To feel it a little deeper, you could bring that arm up and over, so the right arm up and over, and that should kind of bring it up here, because this muscle actually attaches to your spine. So by opening that arm up, you'll feel that up higher into maybe your lower back, into your trunk. If that's not comfortable and you want to allow that arm back down, please feel free. one more breath. And then we'll release the arm. And then we'll bring that leg out. We'll scooch back to the middle. We'll take that right leg. And your circles can be nice and low, or maybe you want to bring that up in towards the armpit, in towards your chest. Give it a little hug, or maybe just hold underneath. Play around with what feels good here. Maybe adding a few of the ankle circles here if you've got it up. One direction, and then the other direction. Maybe one more squeeze if you got it up. And then we'll release and bring it over into that piriformis stretch. So the right ankle will go on top of the left thigh. Now you can kind of play around with how this feels best. Maybe you just have it open, allowing the knee to open up, and trying to feel this in the back of your right hip. Maybe the leg goes out straight, or maybe you fold over to deepen the stretch even more. Whatever position gives you kind of the best stretch, right in that, on the piriformis, but right around your head, your buttock, on the right side. One more breath here. And that exhale, just folding a little more, seeing if you can deepen that stretch just a little. And then bringing that leg out, maybe circling it down. And then we're going to scooch to the left side of our chair as we extend that leg back behind. And then finding that hip flexor stretch on this side, up on the toes, or maybe point the toes down. Finding into the front of that thigh. Maybe a little lean back to deepen. Maybe we'll add in that reach overhead to bring that up even just a little bit more up on the attachment to the spine. Certainly can release that arm and keep just the hip flexion stretch if that's more comfortable. And just one more breath on this side. And then we'll release the arm. And then we'll bring that leg out. Maybe just starting some circles down low. And then working our way up. Maybe giving that a little hug in towards the chest and towards the armpit. Some ankle circles here. And maybe the other way. One more. Squeeze in. And then release out. So find our piriformis stretch now on this side. Working through those options to find which gives you the best stretch. And then maybe sinking into it here. Connecting back into that breath. Keeping your mind and your attention here on your body in this moment. this last inhale, and then exhale and see if you can fold just a little bit more, then a little bit more intense stretch. And then bringing that leg out. Shakes, wiggles, circles on the way down. And if there's any other motions you need, if anything's feeling tight, if anything needs a little loosening up, if you'd like socks on, sweaters on, whatever you need as we come into our last few minutes here together. And before we start our meditation, or maybe just taking this moment here to find what would feel comfortable, kind of playing around with different positions, maybe allowing the legs out, maybe the feet will kind of come together if you'd like to try a little different position. Or you can plant the feet, resting back into the chair. And the hands can come to your lap, however they feel most rested in your body. And then allow your eyes to close. And we'll start tapping back into our breath, connecting into that breath, bringing the focus, your awareness, your attention to that breath. You're feeling that inhale in through your nose, filling up the belly and the ribs. Exhaling the air back out. Allowing that breath to be the center of your attention. Knowing that whenever your mind starts to wander, if you're able to notice and observe and bring yourself back to your breath, that is the work we're trying to do here. In the next few minutes, to stay in with your breath, trying to clear your thoughts, clear your mind, keeping the attention inward, and I'll call you out when we're done. arms to fall down at your sides. Start doing some movement. And all together, we can take one last inhale, reaching the arms up overhead. Palms come together, and we'll bring our hands to our heart. Allow your head to bow if you'd like. And just checking in, observing how your body feels now, how your mind feels. Just without judgment, just the observation of how you feel. And I